identity remain strong, trusted, and globally recognized. As we converge today, may we do so with renewed resolve and a shared sense of purpose to protect what is ours, to innovate boldly, and to collaborate meaningfully. Let us see this convergence not merely as another conference. We have quite a number of conferences, and we go from one conference to the other, but let's achieve a purpose. I said it at that last meeting too. Please don't let us just come here and just talk. We know how to talk, but beyond the talk, let's walk the talk. Let us see this convergence not merely as another conference, but as a call to collective action, to strengthen Nigeria's digital sovereignty, to safeguard our cyberspace, and to unlock the immense opportunities that lie within our national digital ecosystem. I wish this gathering inspires us to think beyond institutional boundaries, to embrace partnerships that transcend competition, and to build bridges between policy, technology, and people. Let the conversations that begin here evolve into strategic collaborations, policy alignments, and industry initiatives that will deliver tangible impact from improved digital infrastructure and cybersecurity to enhanced local innovation and economic empowerment. Let this moment mark a renewal of our national commitment to a digitally secure, inclusive, and globally competitive Nigeria. Together, through courage, vision, and partnership, we can accelerate our nation's journey towards digital sovereignty, economic prosperity, and a future defined by Nigerian innovation and excellence. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of NERA, I urge all participants to seize this moment to build bridges of collaboration, to innovate responsibly, and to champion a digital ecosystem that reflects the best of Nigeria's creativity and potential. Together, let us continue to make the internet not just a tool for connection, but a catalyst for sustainable national growth. Together, let us keep building Nigeria's future. .ng domain at all times and in all places. I want to say thank you so much. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you for the powerful presentation. I would have asked you to applaud again, but please don't. You will do so when I then ask that we thank her for recognizing Mrs. Uduma. Indeed, Mrs. Uduma is another wonderful woman. There are two powerful women in Nigeria who represent Nigeria's internet. Uduma is special because she's everywhere in Nigeria, in West Africa, in Africa, and the world. Yes, please. Now you can clap for Mrs. Uduma. So it's not for nothing that she's called Mama Internet, not just by Nigerians, but by anyone I know in the world who has anything to do with internet. Thank you for coming, for being everywhere. I don't know who cloned you, but it's wonderful to have you. And the chair of the board of NERA asked an important question, which is what I was hinting at about the starfish. Hers was, we have less than 1 million registered domain names, but we're more than 200 million. Why? That's a question we must answer before we leave here today. Now, we're going on with Goodwill messages. I was tempted before now. I was going to follow the list as it is, but I will not do so. I'm going to bridge it a bit and bring in the gentlemen in the National Assembly so they can answer that question. So we give them time to think deeply. Why do we have the legislature and we need the kind of laws that will help us ramp up? So why haven't we? Should we? Should we? When should we? Those are the questions that the gentlemen will answer. as they come. I'm not putting them on the spot, but who else do we talk to if not our lawmakers? So it's my pleasure then to say, let's give 2 minutes of your attention to distinguished Senator Dickett Plank to come forward at this time. I plead with the other distinguished senator who is online to give his colleague 2 minutes to speak to us since he's here seated. If you will please come, Senator Plank has 2 minutes of my time to speak to you about the role of the legislature. Thank you very much.
He earlier said, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because if I go into trying to identify everybody's portfolio, I may make a very terrible mistake. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including the lady coming from Jos, and I met my classmate here at ATBU. He's looking much, much younger. And I wanted to deny the fact that we are not mates. But we are mates, so. Good morning. Earlier today, the President of the Senate, through the Chairman of the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, called me that I need to be here to stand in for the Senate President and for the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime. And I told him, what is it about? And he told me it's about NG.NG and so on and so forth. And I told him, what will I say? And he told me I'm a scientist. I read physics, I should be able to know what to say. Now, when I came, our dear mother was talking about my name, and she called the name so familiar that I thought she was coming from Jos. But coincidentally, she is not even from Jos. As rightly said, my name is Plank, and I was told to be here as a scientist. And so when I came here, I was looking at the scientific words. I remember when we were in the university, I used to tell them that for those of you who did atomic sciences, that's fission of the nucleus, you will discover that the scientist who got the formula was Max Planck. And so when they are teaching, I'll tell them I'm around. The German scientists are around. Let me explain to you the theory. So by my name, Planck, which is just thanks in my language, is also another scientist of the atomic energy discovery. Now, again, when I met maybe the president giving his speech, and when Madame elaborated on it, asking permission from the Computer Association, I now see a lot of things that this stakeholders meeting need to be done. And I saw the topic, tech convergence. And as a physicist, light travels in 3 different formats. It's either divergent, or it goes parallel, or it converges. So we're converging technology. Converging technology. And I saw again somebody talking about ecosystem. The ecosystem, which means, and that the internet stands as a catalyst for digital economic development. And I said yes. And she was also talking to us that I think the president was telling us that the internet is for everybody who wants it. It's available. Then we have NIRA, who tries to control. You know, when you have food for all, there must be somebody who would control. If there's nobody controlling, even the ecosystem, you will have problem. One animal will create in such a way that Nigeria will stand the test of time. I thank you for inviting us, and I assure you that we are with you. We have our sittings today, and if you see me disappearing, it's not as if I've disappeared. I want to assure you that our heart and our minds and our will is with you. We will work together to develop our country. I thank you once more, And may God Almighty bless us. Thank you and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Many years ago, I worked in the Nigerian Senate, and I spent time drafting bills, and that's actually we will listen to another distinguished senator. I'd like to have him on the screen. But before we listen to the distinguished senator coming on next, and before we let distinguished Senator Plank leave, just a question for you. My background also is in Nigeria's parliament, and I drafted bills. But here is a question. Well, I'll take out the question part. Let me make a statement. It's actually very easy to solve this problem that Mrs. Odusote posed to us. It just takes a simple bill that makes it mandatory for every Nigerian company to have an identity, Nigerian company to have an identity on the internet. That's all. A bill to say, if you're Nigerian, .ng. It's a bill. And it won't be new because CAC in Kama already says so for companies. For you to be a Nigerian company, you must have a Nigerian address. So for you to be in the digital economy, for you to be a Nigerian and a Nigerian company, you should have a digital address. Otherwise, we don't know who you are. That's the point, sir. The private member bill, simply to make it mandatory for all Nigerians to have a .ng domain. All Nigerian companies to have the same thing. That's actually why this is happening in Abuja. And that's why I let you speak early. And I'm going to also let the Distinguished Senator Salisu also come speak and let them know that the Senate is with us, that it matters to the Senate. The starfish is in the Senate. So, okay, there he is. Thank you very much for bringing. Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you for resounding applause for the Senate Committee Chairman on Cybersecurity and ICT, Distinguished Senator Shuaibu Salisu Afolabi. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. If you can hear me, there's a resounding applause for you. I know you're out of the country, but they can hear you if you speak. Go ahead, sir. Just hold on, we can't hear you yet. Check and see if your microphone is turned on, and then try again.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. A moment ago, there was a resounding applause for you. We can hear you now. Please go on with your speech.
Thank you, my brother Convergence. I'd like to start by recognizing the president of Nigeria Computer Society, our association. From there, I'd like to recognize the president of NERA. I know there are a number of very important dignitaries, but I must start by recognizing my brother, distinguished Senator Plank, who is really to heart, representing the chairman of Committee on ICT and Cyber Security Committee he belongs to, and also representing the president of the Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akapbio. Madam Internet, Madam Duma, I recognize you. I listened earlier to someone who cannot talk about the history of NERA or the top domain name in Nigeria without mentioning name. Pastor Mrs. Ibukun, thank you for the wonderful job you have been doing since your days at Java Tech, when you are the sole administrator for our top level domain name. Distinguished Nigerians, well, let me start by expressing big regrets for not being physically here. I have privileged to be here, first as the chairman of Senate Committee on Ethics and Cyber Security, number two as a president of as a representative of the president of the Senate, and thirdly, as also an IT partner and a stakeholder in this industry. Unfortunately, today I have to be in Dubai for GITEX, a global IT event that has been scheduled at the beginning of the year, and which I gave a commitment to be in attendance. Incidentally, today, as soon as I finish here, I'm also going to join the Ministry of Justice online to deliver a good message as part of the Cyber Security Week that has been celebrated. Let me bring in the felicitations of the President of the Nigerian Senate and indeed the Committee on ICT congratulated the Tech Convergence 2.0. Sometimes it's easy to forget where we are coming from and the milestone that we have achieved. Today, I thank you and thank the members of the Board of Trustees of NERA for having nurtured this mustard seed into an oak tree that we are all proud of today. We might not be there yet, but yes, we are making in the direction that we should go. And I'd like to use the opportunity to let you know what the role of the Nigerian State Committee on Ethics and Cyber Security has been playing to ensure that the digital economy space in Nigeria is enhanced to achieve not only the objectives for which there was set to achieve to raise the shares of the digital economy in the country from a paltry 1.0 or less than 1.0% GDP. The digital economy will come up with a national digital economy and e-government bill and digital economy. And I can give you a couple of examples. When the law expects you to bring some documents in the original form, as of today, more often than not, the court expects you to bring those documents in printed form. When the contract specifies signature, the signature that's recognized under the law yet is a physical signature. But pray, how can we take full potential of the Nigerian digital economy space if we don't amend these laws? And that's why this omnibus bill, and hopefully in the next few weeks, this committee will be holding a public hearing, will ensure that some of those laws are repealed in this new bill that will ensure that all of those things that are hindering the progress of our digital economy are resolved. I have good news for you. Part of that bill as well, and I expect now to make very strong input into it. Will also ensure that government agencies are digitized. And part of that digitization, we no longer will tolerate the use of such public free email services like Yahoo and Gmail for the conduct of government businesses. And this will also be extended to other private sector organizations that want to operate in Nigeria. They must necessarily have a physical process that will ensure that this bill that they have gone through second reading makes provisions to ensure that the objective for which UNERA is set up is achieved. So we are on the same page, and I can assure you that what the issues that are agitating our mind are also part of the theme we're already talking about. So the digital economy bill, in another 1 or 2 weeks, we're going to public hearing, and I want to assure you that NERA, Nigeria's Computer Society, the Computer Professional Council of Nigeria, even CAC, every stakeholder is invited to participate in this process. So issues like the .ND registration can also be made part of our law in addition to whatever other regulations and policies we have in place. The second thing I also like to mention, one of the first things that this committee did when we came on board in 2023 was to amend the cybercrime law, cybercrime act that had been in place since 2015. We did some amendments in order to bring it into current realities. But since that amendment of 2024, we have also since recognized that there is also a lack, some lacuna between our cybercrime law and the current realities. And that's why we are working in conjunction with United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, Federal Ministry of Justice, the Office of National Security Advisor, the Council of Europe, and a number of other stakeholders to ensure that a new cybercrime bill is in the offing. That will also ensure some of the issues that are slowing down our progress of digital economy. We want to ensure that the internet and the digital economy realize the potential rather before it concludes. Let me also suggest on that we need 3 items that we need to do. Number 1, NERA should be in the forefront of ensuring that some of the IP addresses that belong to our regional organization, the African regional organization, the equivalent of NERA at the continental level, we retrieve those IP addresses. We can no longer afford our IP addresses that belong to Africa to be in the hands of some other people outside Africa. Sometimes they deploy them to unscrupulous uses, whereas the stigma that comes from those unscrupulous uses are attributed to Africa and by extension Nigerians in particular. NERA should be in the forefront of doing it. The second suggestion for NERA, let us reach out to such organizations as National Orientation and National Orientation Agency, the same way that they campaign about not to abuse NERA as our national symbol. We must also engage national orientation agencies and indeed other such government platforms to begin a campaign for the use of .ng, not just by companies, even by individuals, not just by private organizations, but even by public sector organizations. We should no longer allow government agencies to use public domain, free email services. We can make the laws, but just one memo from the head of service of the Federation to all NDAs to stop advertising, to also interface with CAC and organized private sectors like the Nigerian Economic Survey Group, the employers of labor, to also ensure we bring this domain and this issue of domain to them. On our part, we're going to ensure that NIFLA continues to register organizations and that the procurement process includes, particularly for IT procurement, include the registration of .ng for companies who want to participate in the procurement process in Nigeria. In conclusion, I'd like to thank you and to once again express my regret that I'm unable to physically join you, not because I don't want to. I would love to have the opportunity of sharing fellowship and camaraderie with the leaders of our society, the leaders of Nigeria Computer Society and the IT industry as a whole. As we move forward and we do Tech 2.0, it is my hope and prayer that when we come back here next year, we will have increased the number of those who have registered on .ng domain. We will have double that by doing so, the trajectory, the tracking that we have established will continue to move. God bless you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you for applauding the distinguished senator. Thank you, and also thank you, Senator, for your comments and suggestions to NERA. And that's actually those suggestions, the reason NERA is in Abuja this time and not in Lagos. And it's also the reason why the next speaker, I use my discretion now to order the lineup in speaking. The MC coordinator is giving me a different list, and I've changed that to another one. And it occurred to me that another point, a gate, good guardrail, you may call it, is in Bureau for Public Procurement. So, and by the way, if the senator is listening, many years ago, several years ago, not so very many, the Senate Committee on Cyber Security then hosted cybersecurity conference in NAF Center. There was an interesting, fine gentleman, distinguished senator, I wouldn't give his name. He was chatting with me, and I was moderating a session. He said that he had had a very good time in the United States of America. He met some congressman who took to him, they had become friends, and they were beginning to discuss what they could do together. So the gentleman colleague gave his own email asking for some correspondence and gave a card. So he brought his own card and gave one to the congressman. The congressman looked at it and he saw something yahoo.com and he froze. You could see in his face consternation. He thought it was a huge scam. This cannot be a Nigerian senator. The discussion broke down instantly. True story. And he walked away, feeling this is a scam. Now that's an embarrassment, not just to the individual, but to the country. That's why it matters to everyone here. That's why it matters to every company, every Nigerian. I once saw the email of one of Nigeria's presidents, right? I don't know. I truly don't know what email our current president has. But I know one of the past presidents had a Yahoo account. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do need to put a stop to the national embarrassment, and Bureau for Public Procurement has a DG who is here with us. I'll ask you to applaud Dr. Adebowale Adedokun, who has come to grace the occasion, and I want to give him 2 minutes now to speak and assure us that no company that does business with government, all, in fact, should have a .ng domain. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Good morning. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I hope that is fine. Dr. Odusote, let me just say something that they may not know. When you are the head of the ICT in Radio House, I was one of those people who came from ATBU, who were always there with your harassments and ensuring that, so you will not recall. So I'm trying to let you know. I was there with you when we were able to install some of your servers then with one of my friends. Secondly, when you were the PAMSEC, I was the SA to Engineer Eze for a couple of years. And so, having said that, let me speak unusual so that the message can be clear. I was in Spain last week, and the DG BPSR2 was there. If there's anything I can pride today, is I don't use any other domain name other than .ng. All our correspondences, I mean, you can be proud of you as a Nigerian when they saw that there are a group of people who are already using .ng. I think that's a success story that you need to know. That some of us are already traveling to say to the world, we also have a domain name. Secondly, about 3 months ago, all government agencies, so when I heard the distinguished senators say, oh, for procurement IT, I mean, this must be done, and I was smiling there because by the approval of Mr. President a couple of months ago, I no longer receive requests from NDAs that does not use the official .ng since August 18th. So if you send to BPP now a request, official correspondence, we will reject it because once there's no .ng, we will not attend to it. So we're already piloting without the amendment to the law because we have the instruments. We already have enough instruments to be able to make a difference. So why the laws could be amended, we already have the instruments. I think it's the courage and the oneness. And the Nigerian First policy says patronize locally made products, and .ng is our own. It's as simple as that. So I've insisted, because BPP is the enabler for national economic growth and development. If Bureau of Public Procurement does not start, you will not be able to succeed. So for every country, every government agency in Nigeria, over 1,200 of them has to use .ng. And that's the message I've brought to you, that revolution has started already. So you already have it in place. It's for us to now carry out, like this distinguished senator said, enough of publicity, advocacy. I'll give you one challenge so that probably you can address it too. The few weeks that I've started implementing .ng, mails gets bounced back. Meaning, there's still trust deficits in our ability to use .ng. There's no seamless integration. So I'm giving you feedback as somebody who sees the entire nation on my desk from procurement issues. So we need to address that. Having said that, my colleagues, distinguished Senator Plank, we are all in ATBU and Mama Internet as well. And I thought to say this, we knew that this is where we're going to get to if we all work together from ATBU. ATBU pioneer a lot of what we are seeing today. Having said all this, just to let you know that